Welcome to the All About English podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Grace. This is the place to grow your English skills, no matter what level.
Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode. We post daily. You don't want to miss out.
So, picture this. You've just stepped off the plane. New country, new vibes, and everything is, wow. Everything feels exciting and fresh, like you're living in a movie or something. That's what they call the honeymoon phase, right?
Exactly. It's that initial wave of excitement where everything feels kind of magical. You're soaking it all in. And the differences between your culture and this new one feel almost charming, you know?
Totally. I remember my first week here. I was in New York City, running around this massive outdoor market, like one of those classic American street fairs. The food, the smells, the people, the chaos, it was wild.
I can imagine. That's such a classic experience. But then after a while, the newness wears off and reality creeps in.
Yep. Enter the next phase. Culture shock. It's like 1 minute you're in love with everything, and the next, even ordering coffee feels like decoding alien language.
Oh, for sure. You start noticing all those little things that don't make sense right away, like why everyone asks, "How are you?" But they don't actually wait for an answer.
Yes, that totally threw me the first few times. I mean, I was standing there, ready to tell my life story, and they're already halfway to the next person in line.
Exactly. And for a lot of newcomers, especially if they're not familiar with the language, it's more than just those moments, it's the big stuff too. Figuring out public transport, renting a place, or even just trying to make friends.
And all that adds up, right? It starts feeling overwhelming fast. You're not just building a new life, you're also adjusting to an entirely different way of thinking and doing things.
Yeah, but here's the thing, it's part of the process. Culture shock, as tough as it is totally normal. It's like the necessary chaos before finding some stability.
You're so right. There's a necessary chaos to it. But then, after all that confusion, it's like, finally, you start finding your footing. Enter the adjustment phase. This is where things start making sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like turning a corner. You're not exactly fluent in the culture yet, but, buying groceries doesn't feel like climbing Mount Everest anymore.
True. And you're kinda less overwhelmed. Like, you've got your favorite coffee spot, you've cracked the code on the bus routes, and suddenly everything starts clicking.
Right. It's when the basics stop being stressful and you can start focusing on connecting with people or discovering the fun stuff that makes the place unique.
You mean like community events? Honestly, those are such a game changer. It's a way to, just feel like you're part of something.
Exactly. I remember when I first moved to Austin, someone told me about this local festival. It's called Eeyore's Birthday. Sounds ridiculous, right?
Wait, Eeyore? Like from Winnie the Pooh?
Yup, exactly. It's basically a day where people dress up in costumes, play music, and bring food. At first I thought, what am I getting myself into here? But honestly, it was amazing.
Sounds so fun.
It was. And the thing is, it wasn't just about the festival. It was about meeting people, learning the quirks of the place, and just feeling more connected to the community, you know?
Exactly. And that's where embracing stuff like your own traditions can help too. Like cooking a dish from back home and sharing it with new friends. Totally bridges the gap.
Totally. It's all about finding those little ways to hold on to who you are while blending into the rhythm of your new life.
And, once you've found those little ways to connect, whether it's through festivals, food, or just feeling like part of the community, you start hitting that next phase. Mastery. It's when you're, not just settling in, but really feeling like you belong. Of course, there are still challenges, but it's a whole different vibe, right?
Right. It's not about being perfect or totally fitting in, but more about being comfortable in your own skin while navigating a new culture. Like, you start to feel rooted, even if you're still learning along the way.
Exactly. I was talking to this family recently. They've been here for a couple of years, and they've found this really cool balance of blending their traditions with, super American ones.
Oh, that sounds interesting. What kind of balance are we talking about?
Okay, so for example, they've kept their cultural traditions, like cooking these amazing family meals every weekend. But they've also embraced things like Halloween. They all dressed up as superheroes last year. It was adorable.
That's the kind of stuff that makes such a big difference. It's like saying, hey, we're making space for what's new without letting go of what matters to us.
Totally. And I feel like when you do that, celebrate your culture and also embrace the one you're living in, You teach your family resilience. You're showing them how to adapt without losing themselves.
Exactly. And open communication is huge for that, especially in families. Kids might adjust faster because of school or making friends, but having those honest conversations at home helps everyone stay connected.
Yes, and respecting little things, like how you greet someone or those cultural norms, makes such a huge impact. You don't have to agree with every custom, but just being respectful goes a long way.
Totally, it's about respect and patience, not just with others, but with yourself too. Adjusting takes time, and accepting that can actually make the process easier.
Yeah, it's like saying, okay, this is normal. I'll get there. And honestly, that sense of belonging doesn't come all at once. It's those small wins that add up over time. It's amazing how those little wins really do add up, shaping how we grow in new environments. And when you think about it, that's the essence of these phases we've been talking about. Honeymoon, culture shock, adjustment, and mastery. They're not just stages, but also like vocabulary terms we should really understand, right?
Exactly. And knowing these terms can actually help you recognize what you're going through. It's like naming the feeling makes it easier to deal with.
Totally. So, honeymoon phase. Picture it. Everything's shiny and exciting. You're basically walking on air, and everything feels new and wonderful.
Right. But then comes culture shock, and this is the tricky one. It's when the initial excitement fades and you're faced with challenges you didn't expect. Like suddenly everyday stuff feels overwhelming.
Oh, for sure. It's like you hit this wall of, wait, why does everything here work so differently? Or even stuff like, why don't I get that joke everyone's laughing at?
And that's normal. But then, in the adjustment phase, things start to click. Grocery shopping isn't stressful anymore, and you've maybe found a routine that actually works for you.
Game changer.
Totally. And finally, the mastery phase. This one's all about finding peace, not perfection, but comfort, like you've found your groove, even if some things are still a work in progress.
Yeah, and I love how mastery doesn't mean you've got it all figured out. It's more about, being okay with learning as you go.
Exactly, and each of these phases also come with their own challenges and highlights, kind of like building blocks to help you grow.
Okay, so let's throw in some tips for practicing this vocab in real life. Like, do you catch yourself in the honeymoon phase? Naming it can actually help you enjoy the moment, right?
Exactly, it's all about awareness. And during culture shock, recognizing it can help you take it one step at a time without feeling totally overwhelmed. Knowing the words helps you process the experience.
Right. And remember, these phases aren't linear or one and done. Sometimes you bounce between them, and that's totally normal too. So, thinking back to how we can recognize those phases in our daily lives, have you ever noticed yourself naming those moments, like catching when you're in the honeymoon phase and just savoring it? That can be so powerful.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so interesting. No two paths are the same, but each phase brings its own lessons and growth.
Totally. And hey, we'd love to hear your story. Like, how are you navigating cultural adjustment? Maybe you've discovered something unexpected that helped you along the way.
Yeah, or maybe there was a moment when everything just clicked and you thought, okay, I'm starting to get this. Those moments are powerful.
So hit us up in the comments with your experiences, share what worked for you, what surprised you, or even what still feels like a challenge.
And if this episode resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep the conversation going. We've got plenty more coming your way, so stick with us.
Yes, so on that note, we're wrapping up. Thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take care and keep exploring.
See you next time, everyone.